Welcome, everyone, and those of you at home. So yoga, as I understand it, is a holistic mind-body intervention. And I mentioned in my remarks yesterday evening that we mostly come to yoga to get physically fit. But it's interesting that there are 3 levels of human embodiment. And the last of these is the physical. The physical is actually created by the first 2. So we have a causal body. That's our thoughts and our beliefs. We have an astral body. That's our emotions, our feelings, even memories that are locked up deep inside of our subconscious. Only about 10% of our mind is conscious. There's a lot that's flying under the radar, running our lives, keeping us awake at night sometimes spoiling our day with whatever. And I'm not saying that this is all very human. But all of these 3 bodies, so the causal, which is your mental, your beliefs, and these are often conditioned in this lifetime, family, schools, religion, politics, all kinds of stuff. So that's all, it's all conditioned and it's just all normal, very normal. And then of course the feelings and emotions that are born out of our thoughts and our beliefs impact this thing called the physical body. Now they're all knit together because they influence one another, obviously. If you have a headache from not drinking enough water, and I know people who get dehydrated, and I ask them, did you drink enough water? No, I have not. They drink water and voila, the headache's gone. So all of these levels are affecting one another. And although I'm not going to deeply get into chakras today, what I want to point out is that when we sit up nice and tall, for starters, because the chakras are affiliated, associated, there are people who say they're in the spine, there are people who say they're outside the body, there are roots, there are flowers to the chakras. I don't, you know, I'm open to accepting all of what I hear and read, but suffice to say that all 3 of these bodies, the causal, the astral, and the physical, are all impacting our chakras. And our chakras are major centers and forces in how we feel in our bodies, how we feel in our minds and our hearts. So the chakras, the 3 lower ones really deal with the physical. The heart creates the union, or at least the division between the lower nature and the higher nature. But even in our higher nature, because the Vishuddha chakra is the throat, I can say dumb stuff, and I do. Hi, Mare, my sister, she knows. In fact, those who know us best, of course, will be our biggest critics. And we like to even, we don't like, but when we observe something that we don't like in ourselves or somebody points it out, it's our egos that are offended. Our higher selves would say, namaste. Thank you so much. So suffice to say, what I started to say that yoga is a holistic mind-body intervention, there's just 3 aspects. There's the physical. So we practice asanas, which we're going to do. There is breath work, prana. This is a big deal. It's boring to some people. Hi, Jane. Because I know where a lot of people are at. I get it. And then, of course, meditation. And meditation can unlock so much of what is in 90% of our subconscious, unconscious, that we're not even aware of. And awareness is going to be the first step to healing, to having more joy, more peace, more love, and sometimes just accepting the sadness, the losses, the disappointments, the frustration, the fears, just getting to the place where I feel this and I'm going to breathe it out. And then I'm responsible for everything within me. I'm responsible for my thoughts, my feelings. Nobody else is, my emotions, my lack of discipline, whatever it is. And, you know, to be human is to err. But to be aware and notice is the first step towards bringing ourselves to a better place, not stepping on that in that pothole, you know, the story, again and again and again, and expecting something different. So I will be delving a little bit more into chakras, but not too seriously, because what I really like is the KISS rule. I want to keep it simple. I want you to know that when I suggest that you breathe at a certain time, synchronizing the prana, the energy that flows into the chakras and out of the chakras into all the nadis. In China, in the Oriental, they call them meridians. So you know these from acupuncture. In yoga, we call them nadis. And chi is the same thing as prana. So prana is contained in the breath and it energizes every part of your body. But the sitting up tall, just, I mean, from my studies, and I know that Hillary knows a lot about this, just sitting up tall and aligning your chakras, just getting them lined up. They start at your tailbone and they go right to the crown of your head. This makes the ability for the chakras to be enlivened so that they will do and bring to life and light what it is that's hidden in our, you know, subconscious and unconscious. And that's where meditation comes in. And it's a practice, guys. It's not a one and done. It's a practice. And so I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, honestly, I think healing and finding happiness and joy and peace and contentment is not that difficult. Start the practice with maybe doing asanas for 10 minutes, 2 days a week. Just pick 2 days a week, do some breathing exercises. When you're driving a car, that alternate nostril breathing, you're feeling upset, you're feeling whatever, or you're not having a lot of energy, you know, Causal Body will give it to you. And then, yeah, the meditation practice, just sit your butt on anything that's comfortable. Keep your spine long, close your eyes, and just watch the show. The show being your mind is full of thoughts, it's full of feelings, it's full of I should have's and oh boy, later, and didn't do that. And you make the mental list and then you say, okay, I'll remember that afterwards. You can train your mind. You go to bed at nighttime and you can say, oh gee, I need to blah, blah, blah. Just put it in your mind. How much other crap do we put in our mind that gets stuck in there? Why don't we put something useful in there? Okay, so with those few words, let's come down onto our backs and just warm up the spine, the sacrum. So draw your knees into your chest. And place your hands one on either shin just below your knees. Do a little rocking from side to side. Maybe draw your knees in. Perhaps separate your knees a little wider. Go a little slower as you make some circles on your sacral area. Breathing, focusing on the area that you're working with, and then change the direction. I mean, rocking or circles, whatever you feel is most comforting, beneficial, ironing out wrinkles, what have you. And then with your knees still bent, place the soles of your feet flat on the floor. Try to align your heels with your sits bones. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. Lift your shoulder blades up, tuck them under your heart center, and tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. And then pressing the small of your back into the floor, holding here for a moment, feeling your abdominal, your lower abs firing. Breathe. And then really press the small of the back into the floor. Tilt the pelvis up and peel your spine off the mat. Coming up into bridge pose, set to Bandhasana. Tucking at the area of the throat, purging this area of toxins and waste, maybe even words that we said that we don't need to repeat because they're counterproductive. But breathe here. Holding is yin. Holding is what helps release connective tissue. I have been speaking about this the last couple of weeks. So in yin, we hold to stretch the fascia and the connective tissue. These words can almost be used interchangeably, but the entire body is encased in connective tissue. And in the connective tissue is bioelectric energy. That is produced by prana, the breath, chi. We don't breathe well. We feel exhausted, tired. We collapse in our physical bodies. Sitting up straight is too much trouble. Standing up is too hard. So know the power of the breath, both energizing and tranquilizing, depending on how you're breathing. One more breath in to press up. Exhale, one vertebra at a time, starting near the top. Bring it all the way back down. Draw both knees once again up into the chest. And then taking the knees as wide apart as you can, take your arms out to shoulder height. So really let those knees flop open, one on either side, and then dropping the left knee over towards the floor and letting the right one follow like a little lamb follows its mother. Breathing here, stretching through the fascia in the right side of the body. Good deep inhaling and exhaling. Remember to inhale through the nose. And if you wish, you can exhale through the mouth. Now, draw your attention just to your right leg, keeping the knee bent, lift it up. For part the right leg, did I say the right? Forget about the left for a moment, just the right leg. And rolling onto your sacrum, your knees are wide apart, letting the right knee fall over to the right side, and the left joins it. They don't have to be exactly stacked one on top of the other. Breathing in through your nose to warm, cleanse, purify, and humidify the air entering into your lungs. Breathing deeply and fully all the way down to the bottom of your lungs where the alveoli, those little tiny, well, grapes are too big to describe it, but tiny little buds, maybe sea buckthorn berries, we'll call it that. That's where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. So if we don't breathe right into the bottom of the lungs, we don't get a fair exchange. Inhale, lift just the left knee up, just the left, rolling onto your sacrum. And then one more time, drop that left knee over to the side and then the right. Inhale, right leg up. and left follows, and the right knee drops over to the right, and then the left joins. Inhale, coming back to the center, one hand on each knee, a little rocking from side to side, and pull your thighs right tight into your abdomen with your knees just a little bit wider outside of your torso. Take your arms inside your legs. Now, if you can't grab the outside of your insteps, see if you can, with your peace fingers, your pointer and your middle finger, take hold of your big toes. See what you can grab here. Okay? And from there, can you attempt to bring your ankles directly over your knees into happy baby? You're pulling the knees down outside of your torso, breathing. Ujjayi breathing, the one where we kind of make the back of the throat a little bit smaller, and you create the sound, that sibilant sound of the ocean in the back of your throat. This is another breathing technique that helps to alkalize the body. So when the body is 2/3 alkaline, 1/3 acid, now that depends on diet and emotions as well, all affect your acid alkaline balance, but breathing can change it as well. It also calms, purifies your nervous system. So we have very simple, accessible tools to use to create the kind of emotional and mental day we want to have. All right. Place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs and rock up to a seated position. We're going to come back down, but I want you to move whatever you might be knocking over on your mat, especially behind your head. You want to clear a path. And of course, please take a sip of water anytime. Boy, who's got the biggest mess here? Moi. Okay, so just put all this over here. And that's going to be in the way too. There we go. My sister likes all my notes. You like that, Mare? All right, I'm a water sign. I spread out. All right, that's my excuse. So come on back onto your backs. Once again, actually, place the soles of your feet flat on the mat with your knees bent. Scoot your body over to the right side of the mat. Draw the knees back up in towards your chest. And then lower both knees over to the left. Both knees over to the left. Now identify your right arm. So that'll be on the opposite side. Right off the bat here, this is cross-lateral movement. Last week we talked about activating and uniting the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So you're going to take both of your knees are on the left side, your right arm on the right side. You're going to inhale, sweep that arm along the floor. Now be mindful, of course, if you have shoulder issues, take your time. Take it up to midnight, straight above your head, stretch. Exhale, draw that circle along the floor and bring both hands together. So both hands are together in prayer. You're lying on your side. Your knees are on the floor. Drop your knees to the floor if you can. And your shoulders on the floor and your arms are on the floor too, if that's possible. But I get that some of us have shoulder injuries, so we need to be careful. Take your top arm and bring it back and around from whence it came. So take it all the way. You're drawing a little circle with your fingertips, being very mindful. I have a few shoulder ouchies, so I'm being very slow and mindful. Okay, one more time. Inhale, sweep that right arm up, over, behind your head. When we move slowly, we lessen the chance of surprising and harming the body. Move very slowly, modify where you need to, bringing both hands together, and now draw your top knee towards your chest, top knee towards your chest. You're going to straighten the bottom leg down in front. So you're holding your right knee with your right hand. Your left hand, the one that's on the floor, is going to take hold of the big toe with your peace fingers. Your left hand takes your top leg, the toes, your knee is bent, grab your toes, and extend that leg out to the side, whatever amount you can. And then you're going to take the other, well, the only right arm you have. You're holding it up, and you're just going to maybe open it out to the other side, place it on your hip, move it however and wherever feels okay. So again, we have cross lateral. So it's interesting that prior to crawling, we creeped. And when we creeped, it was a bilateral movement. Typically, your arms and your legs went at the same, they went together. But when we started to crawl, and this is how we start to develop our brains, cross lateral movement. So one arm and then the opposite knee. And you watch a baby do this, and we all did it, of course. So, I mean, obviously, this is the way we get around and do things, but it's having an impact on our mental bodies. And there are so many studies done on how yoga increases gray matter in the brain. The cerebral cortex in particular, language, memory, processing information. Okay. One more breath in and maybe stretching a little more or not, and then release that foot. Lift the leg out to the side, straight up into the air. Straight up, straight up. You're rolling onto your back. Bring your arms beside your body and slowly lower the leg all the way back down. Now, does that leg feel longer than the leg we didn't stretch? Let's bend the legs, place the soles of the feet on the mat, scooch your body over to the other side. Bring the knees up in towards the chest. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height. Inhale, in place. Exhale, drop both knees over to the right. So now for cross-lateral movements, we're going to take our left arm and sweep it up and over. You're stretching it as much as you're able, paying attention to any tightness or injuries you may have had, reaching up to midnight. Exhale, draw it all the way over, and bring your hands together into prayer. So you should be lying on your right hip with your knees bent, one stacked on top of the other. And inhale, sweep that top left arm up to midnight. Exhale, you're stretching and opening up your rib cage via stretching your intercostal muscles. Holding here. And last time, let's inhale. Sweep the left arm up, overhead, reaching and stretching. Exhale. Bring your hands together. And now bring the top knee up in towards your chest. So your left hand is bringing your left knee in towards your chest. Your right hand is going to take hold of your big toe with your peace fingers, and you're going to extend the leg out to the side as much as you can. And then take that left arm and find a comfortable place for it. Now, it may not reach the floor. It may not even be happy floating above the floor, although I love the image of floating in jello. But if that left shoulder isn't happy there, make it happy. Put it where it'll be happy. And breathe into the areas that are holding tension and tightness. You already know your hips are your junk drawers. They hold all kinds of stuff. But just by stretching and breathing into this area, showing it some love, no judgment, just mindfully aware of where the tension, the stress, the tightness is being held. Breathe into it. Mentally ask it to relax, to let go, whatever it's hanging on to, especially if it's no longer serving you. One more breath in, stretching, maybe bringing that leg a little higher up. If the leg on the floor, the right leg isn't straight, please straighten it now. And then release that toe. Lift your leg straight up to the sky, rolling onto your backs. Bring your arm beside your body and slowly exhale the other leg down. And I hope that they match up, and I'm pretty sure they will. Okay, let's bring our bodies back into the center. And let's bring the right knee into the chest. Place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Right ankle on left knee. Bring your hands, right goes in between your legs, the left goes outside. Interlock your fingers below the knee. Let's just start there. Now, if you're finding that really, really easy, all right, then bring your hands around to the front of your shin. But there's no prizes for making this practice harder on yourself. In fact, you're probably harming yourself. You're putting stress into your body. So if interlocking your fingers behind your left knee feels good, stay there. Breathe into that right hip again. And again, as I said, if you feel you want to bring your hands in front, and you can still keep your shoulder blades, perhaps not your shoulders, but your shoulder blades on the mat, great. Breathe into the right hip. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Make sure you're exhaling. Your body wants to let go. Our bodies have issues in the tissues. And at some level, there's an awareness that these issues aren't needed. So work with the intelligence of your body to release and let go. Okay, let's take that top knee right over top, tightly over top of the other knee. Now, can you take hold of your big toes with your knees crossed? Can you find your toes? So your knees should be tightly crossed. Knees should be tightly crossed, as if you were wearing a tight skirt, which seems to be okay for everybody and anybody today. Although those who should be wearing them aren't. They're wearing track pants, baggy at that. One of the gals at home, Jane, her father was one of my best friends, very intelligent and funny man. And he used to say to me, "The whole world is crazy except me and thee, and I'm not so sure about thee." Okay, let's release the toes if you even had them. Just relax, keep your knees the way they are with one knee tightly folded over top of the bottom knee, and drop both of them over towards the left and turn your head to the right. So all these years of practice doing the cross-lateral movements has been strengthening your right and left hemispheres. Inhaling, come back over into the center, uncross your legs, bring your arms beside your body, tuck your shoulder blades under your heart center, and let's bring the left ankle onto the right knee. Left ankle onto right knee. Again, you're going to take your left hand between your legs, bring that right knee towards you, and your right hand reaches outside of the right leg, and you're interlocking your fingers behind your right thigh. So you may, and there's really no symmetry in most people's bodies. We're all asymmetrical. So one side may be tighter than the other or looser. Just notice it. And if you wish, you can even do a little rocking here to gently release some of the tightness in the connective tissue. So the connective tissue is associated with yin yoga. Yin being holding, slower, focused. And there's a point of relaxation if we can really let go of the muscles and not force what we're doing, just allowing. Again, if your fingers wish to reach in front of that right shin, that's fine, but it's perfectly perfect to just keep your fingers behind your right thigh to release the issues in the tissues of your left hip. Breathing into this hip and letting go with a big exhalation. And now cross those knees tightly over one another. Now, here's the deal. If you're not able to reach your toes, make sure your knees are as close together as possible, and then just hang on to your shins and bring them close to you. But if you can, look at your feet, put your peace fingers around your big toes if you're able. If you're not, just grab the shins, pull towards you. So yang exercise is more about developing the muscles and sending lots of blood into the muscles. And in yoga, we do both yin and yang to balance body, mind, spirit. There's a time to be active and there's a time to be still. And now releasing whatever you're holding on to, you can take your arms out to the side and drop both knees over to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Let's come over onto our tummies before we come up to standing. So rolling over. Arms are straight out in front and legs are straight behind you, forehead flat on the mat. You're going to lift your right leg, your left arm, and your head. Back bends are typically yang. You're using your muscles, lots of blood supply. That's why your heart is beating faster, harder. It's pumping blood into the muscles that are working against gravity. Plus, even though we think we bend over backwards in life for people, we mostly bend forwards. But we don't do a lot of backward bending in an average day. One more breath in, stretch, lift, exhale, release. You can turn your head to the side for a moment, or if it's comfortable, place your forehead on the mat. Just note which side you're on because we'll do the other side in a moment. So legs are together, tops of feet are flat, your arms are straight out in front, your palms are on the mat. Bring your head back to the center. Let's lift the right hand, the left leg, and the head coming up. Now you're just gently pressing the floor with the other hand. Obviously, if you press in, you're going to lift up more, but that's not the point. So left hand is pretty much inactive. You're letting the right arm, the left leg, and your back do the work. You're breathing, stretching through the toes, through the fingers. One more breath in. Lift and lengthen, exhale, and lower, and turn your head to the opposite side. And breathe. And bring your head back to the center. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's come into tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, lengthening from tailbone right through the crown. We're going to do a couple cat-cows. So beautiful for enlivening the spine. On an inhale, you're going to lift the heart forward, hollow out the little back, the lower back, lengthen through your neck. Eyes rolling up to your third eye, Ajna chakra, and exhale, round your spine, drop your tail, tuck your chin, and pull your bellies in. And inhale, draw your heart center forward, hollow out your lower back, lift your tail, press your shoulders back, lifting head, eyes rolling up. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, pull the bellies in. Inhale, hollow out the lower back, shoulders moving away from the ears as the heart center comes forward. Last time, exhale. And last time, inhale, hollowing out. And then take your knees wide apart, big toes touch, flatten the tops of your feet. Take your hips back towards your heels and lower your torso between your thighs. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, keep them under your hips. Keep your bum in the air. And then lower your forehead, coming into puppy pose. But as I've said before, if we don't bend our knees, if we don't, lengthen the spine, the body responds to the stresses. Obviously good stress, but breathing into your side and back ribs. On an inhale, draw the knees under the hips, curl the toes under, walk your hands back towards your knees. And we're coming into a forward fold with the knees bent, letting your upper body hang, letting your head hang. Give your head a bit of a swing so you know you're not holding it. Keeping the knees soft with the belly resting on the thighs. Knuckles dragging on the mat, crown of head floating down towards the floor. Slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, letting your head be the last thing to come up. Okay, give your legs a good shake out. If you haven't had a sip of water, please be sure to take some. And let's come anywhere into the center of your mats for half sun salutations. Keeping your feet, the outsides of your feet should be parallel with the outsides of your mat. You want your knees over your ankles, your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your hips, your head centered right between your shoulders. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, turn the palms out. You're swan diving onto your thighs, coming into a tuck position, fingertips tented on the floor or spider fingers. Inhale, lift the hips, feel the stretch in the backs of your thighs. Give your head a shake, don't hold it. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, shoulders back, long spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale. Exhale, really bend your knees a lot. Come into a tuck position, fingertips tented on the floor. Inhale, let the crown of your head float down. Let your spine hang like a string of pearls. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. Exhale, drop your hips, shoulders back, lengthen spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Exhale, float the arms down. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips tented, knees are bent. Inhale, lift your hips. Try to keep your belly on your thighs. See if you can stretch those hamstrings just a little bit more. Swing your head, you're not holding. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips a lot. You're in a tuck position, but bring your shoulders back. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Last time, inhale, turn the palms out, exhale, fingertips tented, inhale, lift the hips. Let's bend the right leg, left is straight, right leg bent, left hand on right instep. Sweep the right arm up, twisting to the right, looking up. Exhale, float it down. Let's bend the left leg. The right leg is straight. With your left leg bent, your right hand is on the instep. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Exhale, float it down. Let's sweep the arms out to the side with knees bent, sweeping up. Hands in prayer. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Coming up to the front of your mats. Step your right leg back. One leg length. Make sure the heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Back foot about 30 degrees forward, front foot 90. Bend that front knee. Don't let your torso go forward. Keep it straight up and down. Shoulders back, sternum lifted. Inhale, sweep the arms up, warrior two. Now, be sure you're pressing into the outside of your back foot. You'll feel that in your inner adductor muscle. And keep pressing that front knee towards the side of your mat, and you'll feel that in the other adductor. Holding, breathing, relax your shoulders. They're active, but they're relaxed. Now bring your front forearm onto your front thigh. Take your back arm down, around, in front of you and over your head into Parshvottanasana. Reaching and stretching. That top palm faces down. Keep the back leg really straight. Keep pressing into the outside of your back foot. That's the anchor in your posture. On an inhale, we're going to come into Trikonasana. So you're going to straighten your front leg and straighten your front arm and reach that top arm straight up. So your top right arm goes straight up. Your front leg, both legs are going to be straight. Both legs are going to be straight. Your left arm is inside of your left leg and your right arm is straight up. Opening your chest to the side. Reaching up. Inhale. Turn sideways on your mats. Turn your feet out. Forward fold, halfway. Tent your fingers below your face. On an inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up and stretching up. So now you're stretching that opposite adductor muscle. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Feel the stretch in the inner thigh. Exhale, float it down. Walk your feet in towards one another, but keeping them about 2.5 feet apart. And once again, you're going to bend your knees. Try to have your knees tracking over your feet. Lift your torso, come into goddess pose. Breathing, shoulders back, chest lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet in towards one another, bringing them close together. For horseman's pose, Utkatasana. So maybe your feet, your toes might be an inch. Look at your feet. The outsides of your feet should be parallel to the outsides of your mat. A little more space between your heels than the balls or the big toes of your feet. Bend your knees, transfer the weight, some of it, more of it, into the back of your foot, and then inhale, sweep the arms up, keep the knees bent, look down, your toes should be in front of your knees, you're reaching your arms up beside your ears. If that's too high, keep them shoulder height, or you can bring them into prayer pose, but it does help to have that extra weight in the front to balance the weight in the back. Sitting as much as you can in a chair. So sometimes they call it horseman's pose, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang. On an inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up, hands in prayer. Exhale to your heart center. Okay. So come up to the fronts of your mats. Stepping your left leg back, one leg length. Have the heel of your front foot create a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Really important. So your front foot needs to create a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Can you move your front foot towards the center of your mat so that it goes through the arch? Yeah. Okay, now, back leg's going to stay really straight. Front knee is going to bend. But you're going to be able to see your big toe inside of your knee. Otherwise, you're collapsing and you're losing the integrity and the strength of the posture. Okay. Lower your shoulders. Lift your sternum. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, lower your shoulders and reach through those fingertips, but not with your torso, just with your fingers. And breathe. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Relax your shoulders, but stretch through your arms. You're pressing into the outside of your back foot. Your front knee should be tracking over your middle toes. Have a look. They want to collapse in. Press the knee towards the side of your mat. Straighten your back leg if you can. You're going to get this, Gil. I got faith. Okay. Bring your right elbow or forearm onto your front right thigh. Look at your back arm and just gently sweep the arm in front and then reach it up and over your head. This is just the nicest way that I know of to come into Parsvottanasana, and then open your heart center to the side. So your back leg stays straight. Your back leg is straight. Your front leg is bent. You're reaching with that top arm over your ear, if you can. If you have shoulder restrictions, no, you're going to put it wherever you need to. Nice, everybody, but you're reaching through your top arm. Now, on an inhale, you're going to straighten your front leg and then reach that, straighten the bottom arm and reach your top arm straight up, coming into Trikonasana, triangle. So the energy is up. You can feel this in your core. You can feel this in your hips, your thighs. Good deep inhaling and exhaling. So the energy goes up, up, up. Now inhale, come on, all the way up. Turn again sideways on your mats. Inhaling in place, exhale, forward fold. Tent your fingers on the floor. Can you lunge over to the left, bringing your bum close to your heel? Your feet need to be fairly wide apart to pull this off. Go slowly, but if you can, the closer you can bring your bum to your heel, the more you stretch your inner thigh and the more you activate your knee joint, which sometimes doesn't get the kind of work and love it could use. And then come on up into the center. Come on over onto the other side. Inhaling into the center, walk your feet in towards one another and come on down onto your belly, onto your butts. Shaking out the backs of your legs. Pull the flesh away from your sits bones. Roll your thighs inward, if you have them. Okay, and flex your feet, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lifting up. Exhale, lengthen your spine, reaching, stretching. One more breath in, reach and stretch. Now exhale, let your hands fall wherever they naturally land. On your foot, your ankle, your calf, wherever it is, your shins. But take hold of something, use it as leverage. Inhaling to lengthen, you might be lifting up a little bit. And exhale, forward fold. And then breathe into what I'm sure are your hamstrings talking to you. They're firing, they're stretching, and remember, the more we stretch a muscle, this puts stress on bones, causing them to thicken and strengthen. So, you know, the body, it just works together like the best orchestra in the world when we give it what it needs. And yes, eventually the orchestra disbands and doo-dah. Actually, Hillary and I were at a funeral yesterday. There were over 1,000 people there. And the guy was a priest from the Scarborough Missions. Just an amazing man who, yeah. But what a blaze of glory and the memories of everything. But yeah, feel your hamstrings. You should be feeling something here. Try to keep your spine nice and long. And then walk your hands back up your legs. Okay, grab your cushion or whatever you have. We are going to do one more simple, this is a moving hand mudra, as opposed, this would be static. Last week we did a moving one as well. We did the mind gym, we did the baby finger to the yuhu, the thumb. This one comes out of the Kundalini tradition, and it actually comes out of the mantra Sat Nam. And I really like this because Sat Nam actually means your true nature. And the thing is that our true nature is lying underneath all of those bodies, the conditioned behaviors, the habits, the identity that we have. You know, some people like to say, oh yeah, you're a model. Well, no, I'm not a model. A model is a verb, or whatever it was. You know, I'm a doctor. Well, yeah, you practice medicine. I got it. Okay. But you know what I mean? We get confused about who we really are, what we are, and all these different little patterns of consciousness. So Sat Nam is a mantra that dispels and opens us up to our true nature, but we're actually breaking it down into a cross-lateral moving mudra. So mudra is a hand gesture, a seal. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to cross your hand, doesn't matter which side, it's fine. And then you're going to bring your thumbs and pointer fingers together. Then you're going to bring your thumb to your middle finger, then your thumb to your ring finger, and then your thumb to your baby finger. That's all we're going to do. However, I'm going to say it out loud. You can say it to yourself, because when we're doing this, so when you bring your thumb to your pointer finger, I'm going to say Sa, and you can say it quietly. So Sat Nam is broken down into Sa. Bring your thumb to your middle finger, Ta. Your thumb to your ring finger is Na. And your thumb to your baby finger is Ma. And then you're going to say, so what the? Well, I'll tell you what the. Am I getting a little bit too sassy? We'll call this sassy yoga. What's tech? Okay, so here we go. So Sa, thumbs to pointer refers to birth. Your birth, the beginning, infinity. Your thumbs to the middle finger, Ta, is life, because now you're alive, you exist, you're creative. Your thumb to your ring fingers refers to death, change, transformation. Your thumbs to your baby fingers is Ma, and it's rebirth, and it's a conscious experiencing of the infinite. So this is rather deep, and it may sound woohoo and all the rest of it. I got it. It's okay. Let it be. Just go through this one more time. So thumbs to pointer, Sa, Sa, birth. Thumb to middle finger is Ta. This is life. You exist. Now you exist. Thumbs to ring finger, Na, death, transformation. Thumb to pointer finger is Ma, rebirth and a conscious experiencing of the infinite. Sa, Ma, Ta. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. I'll put this in the notes, and you know, you can say it out loud to yourself, you can whisper it, and you can say it silently. So let's come into Shavasana just for a couple of minutes. Bringing yourself flat out on your mats. Just taking the time to perhaps lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart. Gently roll your head maybe from side to side. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Allow your bodies to be soft and heavy. And just notice your breath without control. Just allow. You may even notice some fine vibrations of energy. Don't work at anything other than being mindfully, non-judgmentally aware. Pema Chodron, many of you will know her name. She's a very revered teacher living in Nova Scotia now. One of her quotes, "Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know." And in Joey's words, what we resist persists. And rather than see it all as a challenge, how can we transform the challenges that we all face into opportunities to grow and evolve and be finer, more refined human beings? Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep, and deep. Exhaling. Long, full, deep. Inhaling. And let it all go. Stretching your arms over behind your heads. Reach and stretch. Point feet far. Flex and point. And drop your arms down by your side. Taking a moment to roll over onto your sides, bending your knees to protect your lower back. And when you're ready, press yourself back up into a seated position. Apply your little Buddhist smile. Feel good about your efforts, and let's seal our practice with the seed mantra Om. Inhaling in place. Om Shanti Namaste. Thank you so much. By the way, Hillary has a